Good evening, and welcome to the Black Feather and Ospreys Rugby Fancast. So, I'm just going to get the elephant out of the room straight away. Yes, I've got a black eye. No, it was not caused by fighting. It was caused by some dodgy steps at Brewery Field. Not gonna lie, face is hurting, cannot touch it, and it goes down the side of my face like a green she-hulk.
So you can put to bed the rumours then that you had a scrap with Dave Redding outside the brewery field on the
Absolutely
weekend.
100% did not happen. I did try and say to people I got into it with one of the Lions loose heads, but nobody believed me.
Yeah.
Plus, on Twitter, someone saw me do it and posted about it. So I can't really deny it because Gethin, who follows me on Twitter, um, I was a little bit naughty on Friday. I secured some Save the Ospreys banners around the ground without asking for permission. Thought it was better to ask for forgiveness. And someone posted to say, good job, keep up the good work on Twitter. So I shared it and said, oh, action shot right there. Someone else responded and said, thought the action shot was the tumble you took in the stands. I was like, busted. So then I sent a picture of myself holding a can of Coke against my face because by that point it was glowing red and
hmm
really starting to like throb. Um,
Yeah.
and then as the week's gone on, so it's got
Well, yeah,
better.
you sent us a photo the day after then, and it looked not as bad
It
as
didn't look bad,
the
did
day
it?
that you did it. So I thought,
Yeah,
oh, okay, it probably won't manifest into much, but it's certainly progressed
it's
now. And I'm not going
it's
to
amazing.
ask you to strip down on the pod, but off recording, Sam has pulled her top up a bit and showed me it's not just her face; she has bruised her
All down my
entire body.
body.
Um,
But in a
so yeah,
line, which is
in the
amazed
wars.
me. It kind of goes down my body in a diagonal line,
Yeah.
which makes sense of where I fell against the step because I
Mm.
obviously fell. The step was a straight line. I got up and I did in front of Sean and Geraint as well, who listened to the pod, and they were like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" And they were really panicking. I'm trying to be brave and being like, "I'm fine. I fall over all the time." I go back to John. I'm like, "Yeah, I've just mangled my face," and I
Well,
yeah,
I
not good.
was going to say not to do down or put down the plight of women's rights everywhere, but you should just call it a protest, like the suffragette lady when she threw
Yeah,
herself in front of the horses. That
Emily
was your
Pankhurst.
equivalent. That was
Yeah,
Sam Imre throwing
throwing myself
herself
downstairs.
onto the ground in front of the coaches and the management of the Ospreys in protest, destroying her body, destroying her beautiful face.
Come on. Um, so
Well, I
yeah, it's
staged a
been.
little protest as well, didn't I, on the
I am so
weekend?
impressed. I
It took a
literally,
couple of attempts, and some of you may have seen the selfie that I took before leaving for the brewery field with my t-shirt pulled up, and I wrote "Ruck the
like the
WRU" in big
WIU.
letters on my belly. And if you go back to look at that game, and the little ramble that they're doing with Ken Owens and some of the other ex-players beforehand, you can see me creeping around the back of the shot in the distance, trying to work out if I'm standing behind Ken's head or whether I'm on his shoulder
Yeah,
invisible. And I pull my top up and I'm just a pink fuzzy blob in the background and you can't see anything. So that was first attempt failed. But later on in the game, I think just before or just after the second half, I managed to get a good touchline shot with my top up and the words fully on show for about a second and a half, maybe. But that's long enough for me to take a screenshot and slap it all over social media. So,
it was literally
rock the
banging.
WRU.
I'm so impressed. Um, so yeah, that is the story of my face. Um, and
Sam's
I'm
face and Rod's
ridiculously
belly.
proud of this black eye. I really, really am. Because you said to me, do you bruise easily? And no, I don't. I'm not like I'm quite sturdy. I was not one of those kids who, if you blow near them, they're going to get a bruise. So the fact that I've got this level of bruising has really impressed me. So I've obviously really hurt myself. Um, Blatantly got concussion because I was sat at my desk yesterday working at home with glasses on because it was too bright.
Oh,
Um,
Christ, even on the night, Sam, like 10 minutes after it happened, you turned up on our side of the brewery on the terrace side, and you looked dazed and confused. You were walking around with this
Honestly,
glazed look
John
on your
wouldn't
face.
let me. I can't really remember a lot of Friday, so my input is not going to be too banging. I can remember the rain, and I can remember thinking, "Oh, the bollocks on Dan Edwards with that 79-minute penalty and the drop goal." I can remember thinking, "Oh, bollocks on that lad." Other than that, it's all a bit sketchy. Not
Mm.
gonna lie. Um, but you know,
You need a
this
minder. You need a
John wouldn't
minder.
let me walk over to you to give
I
you your shirt by
I've seen
myself.
you on many, many occasions leading Aussie around the stands, the terrace, because
I know,
he's got an excuse. He's got a very
I
limited
know.
field of view in that costume. So I've
Oh,
seen you
I'm ridiculous.
hand holding him and leading him around. Turns out you're just
I'm
you
the
need
one,
just as
yeah.
much help as he does.
Honest to God, I'm ridiculous. I'm so clumsy. And John's like, you need to pay attention. And I was like, I was paying attention, but I wasn't paying attention because I was talking and I was doing
Mm,
my, hi, hi, hi thing. But Friday night was quite I found going up to Brewery Field on Friday night really emotional.
mm.
Um
I wasn't
for
looking forward to it
no, for a
in
whole
the usual way that I would be.
no, for a whole number of reasons really, because it was like, oh, I don't know, I can't even put my finger on why I felt so emotional about it, but I did feel really, really emotional about it. And in the marquee beforehand, in all fairness, lots of media has been in contact. So there's been articles in the Telegraph, Wales Online, Evening Post. I spoke to the guy from Evening Post. He took some really nice snippets from what I said to him. The Guardian. There's loads of media outlets. Um, you were on Radio Wales on Friday evening. Spoke
Yeah.
really, really well with Catherine from the OSC as well. And I did say to Catherine, and I said to you on Friday, I thought you came across really, really well, really eloquently, um, and with the passion and the anger that you feel.
Mm.
And I
I'd
think
say I
all of
lost my head.
us, you
I get a bit
didn't.
I got a bit more irate than I usually would. It was so fresh at that point, all the news, that as soon as they hit record on that interview, or as soon as they brought us on live, as it was,
Yeah,
um, I just felt the blood rush to my head and my face went red, and I felt like I lost composure. So thanks for saying that.
it
But
did not come across that way at all. So I was feeling a bit emotional about it all, and seeing all the people with like the flags and the banners and just talking to people,
mhm,
and having those conversations with people. And everybody's got their own story and their own link and their own reason why they follow the Ospreys. And all of them are beautiful in their way. So speaking to people really made me emotional on Friday.
mhm.
And when I first got there, the weather was okay. It was all right. A bit cold. Oh boy, did that weather come into play during
Yeah.
during that second half. It was horrendous, absolutely horrendous.
The weather, it
Um,
never seems to switch halfway through a half, does it? It's
no,
always at half
half
time.
time.
Like it's planned. Like God is watching and going, right, let's turn the rain on now. Let's
Let's do
turn the
it.
wind up to
Um,
60.
and it was, I think ending, in a draw was the right, it was the right result at the end of the day. Could have been very different if that penalty had gone over, if that drop goal had gone over. But fair play, that wind was not with him. So the fact that
Mm,
he could like shake that off and give it another whack, this is what I love about him,
mhm,
about Dan Edwards, is that he's got that ability to kind of think, okay, I tried it, it didn't work. move on. And I think that's one of the qualities that I really love in Finn Russell as a 10.
Hmm.
Because there's something magic about Finn Russell, not just because he's Scottish and he's one of John's favourite players, but I do think there's something magic about Finn Russell and the way that he plays and the way he can just be like, yeah, okay,
Unshakable.
and shake it off. So I do think that was great. Bless Keelan for, holding that ball down for him and taking that risk of having a,
Hmm.
kick in the head. It's the reason why I've got half a front tooth at the front, me doing that, because I did that for my brother when he kicked me in the head by accident. So he said. But some lovely tries.
Yeah.
Um,
Just
Harry
on
Dean
Dan before we move
once
on.
again.
Yeah, there should be no blame laid at his
None at
door
all.
over that because at that stage in the game, we had won the game and then lost it again.
Yeah,
We were what,
19,
19-5 up.
19-5, yeah.
So, we'd done the work and then we'd
Let it slip
messed
away.
up by that point. So if the game was for winning, we should have done it before letting it get to a final
That
kick
point.
or a final drop goal. So, and there probably was there probably were more opportunities than that in that last 10 minutes than just the two opportunities that were
Yeah,
attempted. Um, but we opted to go for the corner. But that's how this Ospreys team, how their mentality is. They
yeah.
do tend to target tries rather than kicks. So I'm not going to break down for that, and I don't think
Bonus
anybody else
point.
has any right to either.
Bonus point. And I think off the back of a very trying 5 days
Yeah, exactly.
to come out and do that,
Yeah,
heart of Lions, man. Like,
yeah,
no pun intended against the Lions. I saw them warming up. They were frigging big boys, mind.
yeah.
Really big boys.
But you could see
Um,
that in our boys as well, though, that they really went out there and just wanted to well, stick the middle finger up at anyone doubting them, whether that's, the people at the very top or the fans of other regions who are talking us down. They just wanted to go out there and make a statement, and we didn't get the win, but I certainly think a few of those boys really made made it known what it means to be an Osprey.
yeah. And I
Yeah,
think, to come out there and have that and do that shows a level of professionalism and mental strength because they could have quite easily folded. Um, but I think, they handled the conditions well. Lovely tries from Ratty, Yestin Hopkins, Morgan Morse, and Cassendi. Morgan Morse is just shaping up to be a lovely, lovely, lovely player. Um, Ryan Ryan Smith just continues to blow me away. Um, you know, with regards to him and the way that he's
yeah.
playing.
Made it into the URC Team of the Week for the second week in
Second
a
week in
row,
a row.
which
Um,
is phenomenal stuff. Coming from the Southern Hem, having not played in or against any of these teams before, in a
no,
completely different type of climate, and he's just ripping it up, isn't he? Fair play to the
and
bloke.
what bigger, FU to RCK about
Yes.
non-Welsh qualified players.
Yeah.
They bring so much wealth and experience, and he's blatantly come in and set a marker for himself. And for him to be in that URC team 2 weeks in a row,
Yeah.
phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So
We've
again,
always
another,
relied on these players, and I don't think whatever model we end up with, that's going to change. Um,
you need them
it,
during international
yeah,
season. I'm sorry,
yeah,
I don't know if you've
and I
listened to Scrum Five this week with James Hook.
yes,
But
yeah,
he was saying, what if it wasn't for the likes of the, you know, non-Welsh qualified players being within that Ospreys team at their most successful, they
hmm
said they could go away on international duty and not worry about the domestic.
yeah.
They knew it was job done. Um,
What's
so
crazy for me about Ryan Smith is that he's uncapped by Australia because the way he's played since he's pulled on this Ospreys jersey, he looks up to it. He
he's
looks the
trained with
standard.
them.
and he looks like he should have been for the last 5 years of his career.
Yeah,
Um, he'd certainly slot straight into a Welsh squad right now, and with the state of Australia rugby where it is,
no
it's
fear. Like,
amazing that he hasn't had that accolade.
no,
Maybe that'll change now. Who knows?
yeah.
I
And
forget how old he is. How old is Ryan?
oh God,
Is he
he's
like
not,
33?
I,
Is that a bit old?
I want to
Anyway, you
say,
carry on.
um, I loved watching him play, um, you know, down in Australia. That's my Saturday morning, like guilty. That was my Saturday, Sunday guilty pleasure watching that.
29.
He's
Only
29,
29.
so
Yeah.
well-deserved man of the match
Yeah.
performance for him.
Hmm.
Um, and again, he showed that he came on and he was quite a leader on the field as well.
Yeah.
So for me, when we were talking a couple of weeks back about captaincy, he captained his team out in Australia. He's got the age. There's nothing to say that he can't come in and do a job on those on those days when we need him. It was really nice as well about I don't know again if you've seen Derry talking at the Six Nations launch saying, yeah, it's been a mentally hard week, but we've all stuck together,
Hmm.
um, and we've come through it, and we think we are quite resilient as a group of players. So um, nice to see Kasende back, scoring a try. For me, from what I can remember, there was a couple of points where he looked quite dangerous, and if
Hmm.
the bounce had gone a bit more towards his favour, then he had a good few opportunities, but it was slippery as shit out there. Like within
Yeah.
that second half, the way that wind was blowing, um, I'm surprised that anybody, you know, scored anything in that second half.
Mm. Well,
So
they were identical halves, weren't they?
yeah,
We won the first half 19-5, and they played an identical second half,
it was the
scoring
wind.
19 points to our 5.
It was the wind. We were playing into the
Yeah.
wind in the second half. They had the wind behind them, so that obviously, went in their favour.
Yeah.
So for me, really, really just goes to show how much the weather can contribute towards these games. But I love that, yeah, I'd love a 3 o'clock on a Saturday kickoff, don't get me wrong. But I do like that, cold, winter, wet, shove
Hmm.
it up your jumper evening kind of rugby, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Mm.
Um, Anybody else kind of stand out for you? Deeves was his usual nuisance, which I
Yeah.
love.
I think I think the whole pack had a pretty good game, really, particularly the
Yeah,
the um the back five, the locks in the back row. They all put in incredible shift. Ratty was really up for it. Really physical, just putting himself about, making loads of tackles. I haven't actually looked at the stats for this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was up there. Morgan Morse, as you said,
yeah,
his usual self, and mental that he hasn't been called up to the Wales squad. I assume we'll get onto that in a bit. Moriarty, when he came on, biggest cheer of the night, and proceeded to again prove that he probably should have been called up to Wales as well, because he changed the tempo of that game when we needed it.
yeah,
Yeah, it's always difficult when you're there in person, isn't it? And there was a dour mood on things for a period. So I wasn't 100% present, and I haven't gone back and watched the highlights, but I was there more for the feeling, and I think that the feeling coming out of that game was just of pride for the boys to be able to put everything behind them and just go out and do the best they can on the night. And I think Mark Jones throughout this as well, in his pre and post match interviews, has just been phenomenal. He's probably been the most open book out of
yeah,
anyone within the Ospreys or the WRU on everything, and has just tried to be totally transparent about everything and
yeah,
put the players in the best position to do their job on the weekend. So yeah, watching his post match and reflecting on the things he said there, he was bang on the money. It's not an easy thing to go out to do
A
your
job.
job when you don't know that you've got a career post 2027. So for me, it was more around feeling. I was proud of the boys going out there and doing it, and I can't ask for any more really. It doesn't really matter what happened on the pitch for me in that game. In a way, and I don't want to use this phrase really, but I will. It felt like a bit of a memorial traveling down to Bridgend on
Yeah,
Friday.
felt like a
It,
wake.
yeah, yeah. I didn't go with the usual excitement. It felt like we were going out of
Sombre.
duty rather than enjoyment and entertainment.
Yeah,
And obviously we got the opportunity to do the shine a light on
that was
Y11
beautiful.
protest at 11 minutes, which I don't think actually came across as well on the TV footage, but when you were in there in the stadium, it was pretty awesome seeing everyone around you raising their arms, shining their lights, but also on the opposite stand, seeing all those twinkles
I
shining out, and
was
yeah,
I was like a drill sergeant in my stand because when I got there, I literally made sure everybody in the stand knew
yeah,
what we were doing. I made sure because there was some Lions fans and lads in the stand next to us, and I was like, right, this is what we're doing on minute 11.
yeah,
So if you're wondering what we're doing, this is what you need to do, and this is what you need to get involved with. Um, so I did a countdown to minute 11. I was like 10, 9, 8. And I was like, phones up, keep those hands up, keep those shining. Come on, keep chanting. So I did that for the entire 11 minutes. So it looked phenomenal over your side.
hmm,
And I looked over then to the cowshed, looked phenomenal there. We know the lads loved it because Mark Jones said afterwards how impressive it was and how they loved the lights. Um, don't know about you, but when the lads who were on the bench were warming up and walking past, everybody was like, "We love you, lads. We're with you."
hmm,
Everyone they were like doing that as they were walking past. A lot of the players posted footage at the end of the game saying thank you for being there and supporting us. The scenes were phenomenal. That was posted like by Keelan, Morgan Morris. So they saw it, they acknowledged it, they loved it. I also spoke to Keelan's dad, Gilo. I love that man. He's so lovely. The entire family, Keelan's entire family, mum and dad are lovely. And it's heartbreaking for the effect that it's having on them families as well.
hmm,
Seeing their kids upset because, as they said, these kids, that's all they've ever wanted to do. I saw a beautiful picture of Keelan when he was teeny tiny with Justin Marshall and Philo Tia, and he was like literally all he's ever wanted to do in his life is play for the
yeah,
Ospreys.
yeah,
So, but looking forward now, we're not going to touch on the other games because I basically spent the weekend in bed with my head.
yeah.
So
I haven't watched anything
idiot,
either.
idiot.
I
Um,
We had a date day on the Saturday, me and Amy, and there was no Welsh games on the Sunday. So no, Ospreys is the only game that I watched this weekend, which is pretty rare for me.
yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I did start watching the Scarlet's game, but I fell asleep. I'd like to give a shout out as well to my friend Rodri, who's not this Rodri. Guy I
What?
speak to on Twitter. He's
I
not
thought I was
you.
the only one.
Okay, don't get precious. Um,
Is this
he's a
Scarlet, Rodri?
Scarlet's fan, Scarlet's
Yeah,
Rodri,
yeah.
and really, really lush guy. And I have quite a lot of chatting back and forth with him and DMs and stuff. And he messaged me and he said, Sam, I don't think it came across very well on the TV because our game was during the day, but loads of us put our phones up on minute 11.
Hmm.
Um, I know that the Cardiff fans put their phones up, Drags did the same. spoken to the Dragons. Their lads, they're gonna do the same when they're down now on Friday.
Hmm.
Um, but there's a coming together of the regions at the minute. But um, Dragons game Saturday, another late kick-off for us. Just worth reminding everybody, Ospreys don't decide the times, guys. This is decided by TV. So yeah, it sucks that it's another late kick-off in the dark in Bridgend. But don't let that deter you.
Hmm.
Because there was a moment on Friday where I was really concerned about the number of people going to turn up because it was empty, and then all of a sudden it filled up really nicely. Um, so Friday,
Yeah.
Saturday, you know, come down. Um, but looking ahead to Saturday, just before we came on to record, then um, all of us have kind of been discussing our scrum half problem, have we not? Saying we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what who we're going to have. You can't have Keelan playing a full 80 minutes at scrum half. But the good news is we've got a temporary short-term loan of Cormac Foley from Leinster. Now, don't know a great deal about him. I know he's only had like 20 odd games for Leinster, but he's also represented Ireland under 20s and Emerging Ireland, which is their version of, an A team. So,
And
um,
just to clarify, Sam, because I've been quite busy today, so I haven't been part of these discussions. It says the article says short-term sign-in, right? That it's not just targeting this game because we're in a pretty dire situation. It's
no, they've
for the
said they've
duration of
had
the Six Nations
internationals
period, is it?
and injuries at scrum half. So I should
Okay.
imagine that loan will be there for as long as
It's
we
probably a
need
roll-in thing week by week, but
to see what we need.
expected till the duration of the Six Nations or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and hopefully,
Okay.
we had great success in different position with an Irish player coming over in Tommy Bow. So perhaps Cormac will come and, decide that he wants to be with his Celtic brethren for a little
Yeah.
bit longer.
Well, as you were
Um,
saying, if he's come up through the Irish under 20 system and then he's been taken on by Leinster, then
Leinster.
he's probably a decent prospect, isn't he?
He's no
Uh,
fool.
it's just how quickly he can get on board with our system, isn't it? And get
Yeah,
feeding
yeah,
off the players around him. But I'm sure he'll
yeah.
have no trouble doing that.
No, no. Um, so waiting for the squad announcement to come, but great news that we've got that there. Other
Hmm.
worry on my mind is if something happens to him, what we got, because there's no backup for the backup. Um, Talk in the groups about whether we get a temporary loan from someone from SRC, whether someone was talking about William Aubrey. Now, this always makes me laugh because my friend Ian, his surname is Aubrey, but his middle name is Ian. He's William Ian Aubrey. And at one point, he was getting all of William Aubrey's Ospreys emails instead of his own. So that always does make me laugh. I'm not gonna lie. But it was like, do we consider pulling someone or academy or whatever else? But
So I'm going to put you on the spot here, assuming that you've had some of these discussions throughout the day with people.
yeah,
Because as far as I was aware, we did have other options. What's happened to Harry Williams, who we saw
injured, I
briefly in
believe.
pre-season? Is he injured?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, with the long hair? Because he looks
Yeah,
pretty decent. He's injured, is he? Okay.
yeah. I saw him a
Who
couple of
else is
weeks
there?
ago in the marquee. I gave him an OSC badge. Um,
Caelan Carson-Jones? Scott
uh,
Whitlock? We've seen these youngsters before, so
yeah.
they've played at this level, even if it's just a couple of caps. Where are they now? Because
So
they're
I
still on the
think,
Ospreys books, aren't they?
yeah.
Even
So
if.
sorry, it's not William Aubrey, it's Matthew Aubrey's with Swansea RFC.
Hmm.
Um, Someone saying Caelan Carson-Jones not contracted when he came up from under 18s. He's on, but possibly on a development contract.
Okay.
Um,
Because I update my squad list directly from the Ospreys website.
yeah,
So I'll
you'll
have
have a
only have
spreadsheet
got those names from there.
there.
So they must have been on the books at some point, but maybe they've been since released. I know Scott Whitlock pops up at SRC level quite often, but yeah, okay. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
hopefully this Cormac can. It is Cormac, isn't it? I haven't
yeah,
got it in front of me. Can do a bit of a job and not get injured.
yeah. Fingers crossed. Let's make sure he's
Low
made
bar,
of
Cormac. Just
Teflon.
keep
Um,
yourself safe.
Dragons wise, then I don't want him to. I love them. They're my second region, you know. Um, and for me, it pains me to say, but even if the worst came to the worst, and I had to pick another region, it would probably be them. But I still couldn't
Mm,
bring myself to watch another region, if that makes sense. It'd be like cheating on my
hmm.
husband. Um, I don't want him to come and spoil our party.
Yeah. No, this is a must win for us.
Yeah,
Um, if we're going to create some distance between us at sort of mid-table and those bottom feeders, if you want to call them
yeah.
that harshly, then we've got to win the winnable games. I know that sounds really obvious, but these games that we're down not as favourites on, we should just be really targeting those now and expecting big margins and going for full points, full 5 points.
We're sitting in eighth at the minute, so
Yeah.
you know
And this
it's
game could either
lovely.
propel us up or down, essentially, isn't
Yeah,
it? If we lose, we're
and
dropping significantly. If we win,
yeah,
we're really putting ourselves in a good position.
Dragons are sitting at 13th at the minute.
Hmm.
Um, because they've had but fair play to them. I think they've had a phenomenal couple of months wins wise, and so pleased for them because I do love to see that they are being competitive because, as someone said at it's easy to have a pop at the Dragons and their success. Um, but you've got to give it to their fans. They're there week in, week out. They're one of the most well supported regions, so they are the
Hmm.
best supported region, let's face it. But for us to remain in that top eight, I think is absolutely vital.
Yeah,
And we can only do that if we win on Saturday. So it'll be interesting to see the teams that are picked. As you
yeah.
say, it's a must win, but should win kind of
Hmm.
kind of fixture. Um,
The Lions are one space above us in the league table, and they're playing the Bulls this weekend, which is going to be a
yeah,
tough game for them, even though they're at home. But if we win and the Lions lose that fixture, we're suddenly
we
jumping
go
up
up,
to sort of sixth, seventh
and that's where we want to be
position.
going
So
into this end of this block. Um,
yeah, but if we lose, there's we're on 21 points. There's Bulls and with 20 points, Bennett on 19, then 19, 18, 17, 16. So
it
only,
can all
5 points, 5 points
yeah
from any of those teams, and they're leapfrogging us, and we're dropping back down to 13th, 14th. So it is really tight margins at the moment. So we got to win these winnable games.
yeah
So
we've got
as
to do it.
good a form as Dragons have been on, we've just got to not let that impact our mentality and go in with our usual. I don't want to say arrogance, but we want to be going in with the confidence expecting to win because that's what the fans are expecting in
Yeah,
any normal time.
yeah, and just not let it get to you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have another week where I suppose siege mentality,
Hmm.
a big FU to everybody around them and be like, do you know what? Yeah, no, let's shut this noise out and let's just rock and roll. So
Yeah.
we'll wait and see what the squad announcement is like.
which is going to
Uh,
hit us harder than them because they've only got
yeah,
two players called up to the
we've
Wales
got
squad.
7.
So they're going to be able to go, almost full power.
Yeah,
Um, us less so.
but I'm sure what we've got left, you know, with our players that haven't been chosen, we've got the strength and the depth there to do the job. Um, let's see if Ryan Smith can make it 3 weeks in a row into the URC team of the week.
Yeah. Yeah. Wouldn't be
Why
surprised.
not?
Yeah.
Target it, Ryan boy. Target it. Go for it. Um, so we've got that to look forward to. Um, we briefly touched on Welsh squad selections last week with the people that we thought were lucky and unlucky.
We did
Um,
we? Okay. Sorry,
we
I
did, yeah.
completely wrote that out of my
Um,
brain.
so traumatized, love, traumatized.
Yeah.
So we discussed that briefly last week, but I think the same still applies this week, really, that there are people that we are gutted for
Yeah.
within the Ospreys. Some very strange inclusions there, but I suppose this is the first real campaign for Tandy. So we
Hmm.
don't kind of know until now what his game plan or strategy is. So it might make sense. First game up for us is England. And very strangely, everything kicks off on a Thursday
Mm,
this year, which is an odd day.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, so
It's
we'll
just
we
I won't get into personnel, but it's a confusing selection for me. I thought
it's
Tandy,
strange.
based on the autumn, was maybe a bit more aligned with, well, I want to say myself, but general
Yeah,
consensus and giving younger players that experience that maybe Warren Gatland was a bit more gatekeeperish about.
yeah.
But this one just confuses me. It doesn't seem to be in keeping with his previous selections. Um,
It's strange. It's
but we'll
very
see how it
strange.
goes. We'll see how
But
it
I'm
goes.
I'm kind of keeping it until I see what's going on. Um, I know I'm pissed off with Welsh rugby because I have I'm going up to Manchester on the 20th of February. I'm going to a concert with me and John are going to a concert. Now let's not get too excited because it's actually a Philharmonic orchestra doing Disney classics. Which um I love. Like I don't get I love. I'm not gonna apologize for that. I love it.
Oh, I
Um
wouldn't expect you to. I've been to Lord of the Rings Philharmonic Orchestra performances, so no
listen,
judgment.
we all love our things, so we listen, we don't judge. So I'm up in Manchester on the 20th. Um, on the 21st is Wales, Scotland. Now, normally, because that's a home game for us, me and John would be there
Mhm.
like a shot. Like it's our, you know, every 2 year outing. He goes with his tam o' shanter, I go with my lamb hat on my head. We both got our flags. And we have a good day. We have an Imrie day out. Um, this year, I'm not even bothered about watching it on the telly. We've got to go to Bricktastic, which is the UK's biggest Lego convention on the Saturday afternoon. I've said to John, I may find it a little bit overwhelming because I'm not a big group of people to me is usually a no thanks. But there's people there selling like unusual minifigs and all sorts. So I'll go and do the shoppy bit. But if I get a bit overwhelmed by the amount of people, then I'll just sit myself in a corner with my phone and some earphones and watch it on the telly. But I know I'm a bit disenfranchised this year because I'm not leaving the house. You can all go to the Lego thing. I'm staying here with the cats and watching the telly. So I know I'm a bit disenfranchised, but we need to be targeting Italy, really.
Mhm.
Um, I can't see us beating the others, but then
So, is that a good tournament if we can get one win, beating Italy, presumably? I can't see one win coming anywhere else. But if that was to happen, would you come out of the other side of spring thinking that was a good tournament for us?
yeah,
Yeah?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Got to
It's
target
it's
that.
about the only benchmark, isn't it? Like now,
Yeah,
it's wooden spoon or one win, and
yeah.
it's miserable that those are our sort of two two possibilities, and our one aspiration is to just win one game.
It's
Um,
bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. Um, so we've yeah, so that's my February sorted.
mhm,
So we'll see how that plays out. Um, we did a couple of Six Nations specials last year, so we'll probably do the same because I think we probably have things that we'll want to talk about Tandy selections and be like,
mhm.
oh, actually, this is where he was going with this, or actually, this did not work for me. Um, so yeah, we'll plan that in the background.
Yeah, once we
Um,
get into it and games are being played and individual match day squads are getting selected, I'm
yeah,
sure I'll get a much more engaged and there'll be a bit more to get excited about.
yeah,
But at the moment, everything is
we'll
just
know more.
overshadowed, isn't it, by the negativity? So I am
Something
disengaged. If even actually, if you had asked me when does the Six Nations start this year, despite doing a rugby podcast, I wouldn't have been able to tell you.
yeah,
Obviously I would have had the maybe a weekend out either side,
yeah,
but I could not have definitively told you that it was the weekend after next until maybe yesterday.
it's bonkers.
Yeah.
Um, but so I'm kind of looking forward to that, but we'll see how it goes. Obviously, I got my trip to Dublin, got my minibus now to take me back and forth. Yeah, well, say me, take us back and forth the to the airport. Um, said last week, taking all Ospreys gear with me, not wearing anything Welsh Rugby Union related.
What you should do, Sam, as well, sorry to keep interrupting, buy a
Do it.
cheap vintage Wales jersey for like a fiver just to throw it on the pitch.
Yeah, I think
Like,
I've got really good seats as well because I've paid for expensive seats through the IRFU.
yeah. I wouldn't
Um,
ask people to sacrifice their jerseys that they've spent 70, 80, 90 quid on over the years.
I got
But if
some
you
really
just go on
old ones
Vinted,
in
there's
the cupboard.
tons of cheap stuff there. Buy one
Yeah,
just to scribble on it, write some obscene message on it, and throw
yeah.
it on the pitch in protest.
It's
If
just
I was going,
really,
that's what
really
I'd be doing, Sam.
depressing. Really depressing.
Yeah.
Normally I'd be like full of the vim and the vigor. I absolutely, and it kills me to say this, I love the new burgundy gear that they've had on, like the travel wear and the
Mm.
athletic, what do
Athleisure.
they call it? Athleisure wear. Because I
Athleisure.
really love athleisure. I really love that burgundy that they've got. Really would suit me down to the ground. And they've got a really like I got a thing about gillets as well, or gilets. And they've got a really lovely women's one, really lovely women's hoodie. And I'm like, no, no.
Mm.
As much as I'd love it, no. And I hope that I usually run into the lads in the airport because it's a Gulliver's travel. They usually are travel around the same time home as us. So I
Mhm.
usually run into the lads. So hope they're not offended. I actually think because the game's on a Friday night, I think I'm gonna go dressed as a girl. I think I'm gonna go with nice jeans, nice trainers. I got a lovely new like pink cable knit jumper, and I'm thinking I might go as a girl. Shove my long teddy bear fur coat on, and I'm good to go. I think I'll be a girl for the evening. Um, so yeah, we've got that to look forward to. But it's been a bit of a week, hasn't it?
Mhm.
Like lots has happened as we would expect it to, with statements coming out from Ospreys. Um, bit of a non-statement, really, saying, rugby's guaranteed until the end of the 26-27
I
season.
I think it'd be worth giving a good summary, Sam, for those of us who just
Yeah.
haven't had the brain
So,
space for it this week, myself included. And obviously
yeah.
your involvement with the OSC, you've got a good insight into the
Yeah.
context.
So, um, we know that there's been lots going on with the council not wanting to release funding until they had assurances from the WRU that regional rugby was to remain within the Swansea area, which I think is entirely sensible. It's taxpayers' money. They're doing the responsible thing with that. We waited in anticipation for a statement from the Ospreys that on basically what was a long time coming. It seemed a long time from Monday to Thursday for a statement to be made by the Ospreys. A statement was released by them from Lance to turn around and say that. I'm trying to pull it up. Excuse me, I thought it had it saved, and I'm not that good. Basically saying that there is more news to come with regards to what's going on and what's happening, that there will be regional rugby committed to that up until the end of the season in 26-27, and that they'll say more when they can say more, to be honest. It wasn't that great a statement. I think it left a lot of things unsaid, and I think people wanted a lot more reassurance around the information that was leaked on Monday, really. Off the back of that, then there was a meeting between the leader of the council, Rob Stewart, and Torsten Bell, and a statement got issued by them. They came out swinging, really, on Friday in response to that statement by turning around and saying, we've had a meeting with Y11 and Lance, and we're not entirely convinced that they can show the level of commitment or that there is a long-term future for Ospreys within the region or within rugby itself. Ospreys then fired back with another with an email response to say that's not our understanding. Lance sent an email to the staff reassuring them that, you know, they were committed to the region, and everything else. And then a joint statement was issued by Ospreys and the council about work in St Helens. But again, that was misconstrued, and both parties took something very different from it. And then the council issued another statement to say, no, that's not quite the meeting or the statement that we've agreed to have over St Helens. So I think the crux of the matter is Swansea City Council are incredibly committed to St Helens, the work that it can do for the business, businesses around there, what it can bring to the community, you know, and having top flight regional rugby within the area. They're very committed to that. Ospreys are also talking, you know, back and forth with them, but the council are also have said we're considering whatever legal action we need to take in order to do this and to secure the future. We want regional rugby in Swansea. It's unthinkable that Wales's second city does not have top flight regional rugby here. So nothing further really has been released as yet.
So
I've shared it on all my socials and everything else, and I think there's a lot more to play out about this over the next couple of weeks, really, with the bouncing back and forth. But I think, you know, Cardiff fans certainly don't want Y11 as their owners. You know, they don't want to be seen as the club that has caused the demise of another club, and that they rise like a phoenix from the ashes of the Ospreys. Likewise, I think if we're being sensible about it, I don't think it's all necessarily stopping the sale of Cardiff to Y11, because I don't think that solves the problem. Cardiff needs a buyer. What I think we need to be considering is pushing this EGM, because the other thing that's come out as well is the EGM, they've got the number of clubs required now to get an EGM.
Mm, mm,
That was prior to the announcement last Monday by the Welsh
mhm.
Rugby Union. And they said that they would do that after the Six Nations to avoid the disruption to the national team.
Yeah.
Then the announcement is made by the Welsh Rugby Union. So there is a push now for that EGM to be carried out as soon as possible,
Expedited, yeah.
and get that sorted.
And obviously we've seen
Because,
over the last couple of days the ex-players from the Ospreys themselves collaborating on a joint statement, which they all released in sort of
yeah,
sequence on their various social media platforms.
yeah,
The likes of Hibbard, Hooky, Alwyn Jones joined in late. Who else? All sorts. Sam Davis out in France
um,
as a
Ian
current sort of
Goff,
player.
Sonny
Yeah,
Parker, um, Richie Hibbard. I've got a
Shane.
list here.
Yeah, a
Um,
huge number of them essentially came up with a joint statement, putting their weight behind the Ospreys. And maybe that is part of their goal is to try and expedite this EGM process now.
yeah,
I must admit, and I said this to you before we recorded, I am a little frustrated that they've waited to this late stage to come out swinging,
yeah,
because I think the statement that they did come out with would have hit a lot harder if they had done it even just 2 or 3 weeks ago before the WRU sort of
yeah,
started sounding more final in their decision. Because I think now it feels responsive and not preemptive.
yeah.
I feel like if
Need to be
if
proactive, not
all this
reactive.
public discontent from ex-players had come out a month ago, the impact would have been far greater, and we'd have
Yeah,
had more time to actually build on that momentum as fans to then try and expedite the EGM or whatever other mechanism you want
yeah.
to sort of disrupt the WRU at the very
So
top.
I've
So
got a
I'm a
list.
bit frustrated there. Even though it's
Yeah,
great what they're doing, they should have done so earlier. They've not got skin in the game anymore. I appreciate that they're all ex-players and they don't want to rock the boat, but none of their careers, their livelihoods are currently tied up in the Ospreys or the WRU or Welsh
yeah.
Rugby, bar having TV contracts and bits and bobs like that, which shouldn't be impacted by
No,
by
no.
the internal workings of Welsh Rugby. They've got no skin in the game. They should have felt free and able enough to do something like this when it was
Yeah.
less severe.
I have got a list. I must admit, I did know that this was coming
Yeah.
Monday night, um, because OSC have been involved in talks with various people. So the list at the minute that we know have shared it on socials is Shane Williams, Kai Griffiths, Ryan Jones, Sean Hawley, Gavin Henson, James Hock, Ian Goff, Paul James, Richard Hibbard, Tommy Bowe, Barry Williams, James King, Tom Smith, Peter Owen, John Spratt, Alan Wynne Jones, which, considering that he left the club under a bit of a cloud, is mega. Barry Davis, Sonny Toy Parker, Reese Webb, Josh Matavisi, Ben John Leeburn, and Sam Davis. Michael Sheen has also shared it now.
Hmm.
I did try and hold up a banner when I was in the theatre last week, but they literally went off the stage straight away. So, Michael Sheen's turned around and said that it's vitally important that we get behind this. And he said, I want to give my support to Ospreys, these former players, the supporters, and Swansea Council's leader, Rob Stewart, in a call for a rethink from Y11 and WRU on their approach to this. Now, we know he's quite a phenomenal guy. So for him to shove his weight behind that,
Hmm.
especially when he's in quite a major 2 week theatre run at the minute. Um, so for him to know that all this is going on while he's kicking off the Welsh National Theatre is amazing.
The
So
question is, are any of those names that you read out going to show up for the protest that's being organised this weekend before the Ospreys Dragons game? Because that would really mean something. Because we know that there are going to be cameras there and they're going to be looking for
yes,
fans and whoever's available to speak to. And if any of them can show up um, and lend their voice, that would be massively appreciated. So if any
so
of them are listening by any chance, probably unlikely, or if
I'm friends with
anyone
Ian Goff
knows
now on
any of them,
Facebook.
pass it on. Pass
Um,
it on. I'm sure they're aware that the protest is going on, but if we can
so
guilt trip them to coming down,
I can't give names. I don't know names, but I do know that they're going to be there.
okay,
So
good.
I don't know names. I can't give you names, but I do know they've all made a commitment, or a chunk of them have made a commitment about being there
Hmm.
on Saturday. So
Good.
plans for Saturday
Yeah.
are JPR mural outside. Be there from 6 o'clock. There's going to be a rally at 6:15. I don't want to say the word protest because protests can be quite an emotive thing. So it's a fan rally for you to get there to show your support. Bring posters, bring signs, bring flags, keep it clean because there's going to be kids there. So, you know, come show your voice, let your voice be heard from 6:15. OSC, I put my other hat on now. So I'm a part of the OSC as well. And please, 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 please know that this last week and a half has exploded for us. There's loads going on in the background with, making sure that we're speaking to the representatives of these ex-players, that we're organising stuff, that we're, speaking to media. I've been contacted by Radio 4 today. I'm going to meet with them on Saturday. Rod's been on Nation Radio today.
Hmm.
We've still got contact with BBC Radio, TV, and Radio and TV. So, as a group of volunteers on the OSC, we're doing everything that we can. Um, I clapped back with someone on Facebook. Now, I don't mind clapping back on Twitter, but I clapped back with somebody on the Osprey supporter group on Friday night on the way home because he called me a fucking clown. Wrong person to call a fucking clown. Because it was like, oh, everybody's a shit house, blah, blah, blah. You lose your message sometimes when you go too aggressive, too full in. There's a time for that aggressive thing. There's a time for that big performance. Look how effective that light shine was, and it was something quite simple. Yeah, RUC the WRU. Everybody knows what RUC is standing for. But again, really effective play on words. You're gonna get on telly, you're gonna get thing. So if you're gonna come and bring your banners, make it TV friendly,
Hmm.
because otherwise they're not going to show you on TV, are they?
Yeah, that's the important
Same
bit.
with your flags and whatever else. So we're going to be there. Someone from the OSC is going to talk. We've got various other things that we've got in the offing at the minute. So keep your eyes on OSC and our social media, because I'm sharing on my pod stuff, but I'm also sharing then OSC stuff. Thank you to everybody who's got in touch with us and offered to help and get involved and everything else. So that's what's happening at 6:15 outside the ground. The plan then is to go into the marquee for us all to be there, because it was quite nice in the marquee beforehand on Friday, because it was loads of us just being like, this is terrible. We need to come together. We need to do something. So that hive mind coming together was kind of comforting in a way, because it was like,
Mm.
we're not taking this. What can we do? What can we do to come together?
Yeah.
So that's the plan for beforehand. We're also planning then minute 11 again.
Hmm.
Lights up, chanting Ospreys for the
I'm going to
entire
bring
minute.
multiple lights this time. Obviously, I'll have my phone torch,
I
but
have my
I've
head
got one of
torch.
those beanies with the integrated
Have you? The
head
LED
torches
lights
in as well. So I'll bring that.
banging.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got a head torch as well, and I've got various other LED lights.
You'll be
We'll
able to
see if
hear
I
me on the
can.
terrace with my little wind-up camping one going,
Do you know
trying
what?
to
I
crank it.
even looked at know the lighted wristband you can get.
Oh yeah, Coldplay
I mean,
style.
yeah, them or like the LED like rave stuff, cheap as shit on Sheen.
Yeah.
Absolutely cheap as hell. Just wouldn't get here in time for Saturday. Because I was like, I will happily dip in my pocket and get those bad boys to give glow sticks out to everybody. Um, but yes, we're going to do that on minute 11. We know that it looked super, super effective. Dragons lads have said that they're going to come in with that as well, and support us with that. So keep doing that. And then where everything's been a bit of a rush in the last week. So with regards to a protest march and everything else, you've got to give notice to the council, you've got to give notice to the police. There's not been enough time to do that. So a meeting point outside the clubhouse, you don't have to arrange anything for that. Please come down. Don't let it be a whiteout or a washout. There's going to be TV there. There's going to be radio there. There's going to be newspapers there.
Yeah.
So come down. Let's not look embarrassing.
Yeah, that's what the
Um,
cameras are going to be looking for this weekend is that fan
yeah,
reaction. They're going to
yeah.
have all their lenses trained on, yeah, and any sign of protest or whatever else you want to call it. I'm going to keep calling it a protest because we need
I'm
to
going to
be
say it's a
emotive
rally.
now.
Um,
But yeah, there's going to be a presence there, so be
make
part
your
of it.
voice heard.
Be part
Make your
of the
voice
movement.
heard.
Yeah.
Um, and there's been some lovely messages. I'd like to say as well, Swansea City Football Club fans, you are banging. I've been in
Mm,
contact with their supporters group this week.
yeah.
Their next home game is against Sheffield Wednesday. They are going to chant and clap on minute 11 for the Ospreys. So, guys, if you are a dual watcher, so you like football and rugby and you're going to the Swans game as well, do that on minute 11. Get everybody around you to do that on minute 11.
Hmm.
That's Prime Premier. That's Sky Sports, that is.
Yeah.
And that's bound to get like the commentators talking as to why you're doing a rugby chant at minute 11. Um, Again, go to your district clubs, make sure that they're going to the EGM, because I do think it is a case of we don't just need to stop the Cardiff sale, we need to get rid of those at the top, because some of the stuff that they've said is clueless. Also had an interesting debate with a guy on Twitter this week as well, because I had a bit of a joke about where's Abby been and said, can we have an interactive map so people can put a pin in to say where she's been? And they got very serious about me not having the right to know where a private citizen goes. And I'm like, I'm not asking her when she goes to Waitrose, mate. I'm asking her when she's been to a rugby club. I don't think that's too much
Yeah.
to ask for.
And there was a good point made on one of the other pods. I can't remember which one it was now. It might have been the rap pod or something. In that Welsh Affairs Committee where Richard Collier Keywood said he goes to one a week, one club, tries to go to one club a week, but he's only employed for one day a
One
week.
day a
How's that
week.
matching up? Because you're going to
How's it
be
even
spending
like happen?
you're going to be doing your
Um,
emails for that day. But then
yeah,
obviously in this period where Abby was off, sadly for treatment for cancer,
yeah.
and he was picking up her responsibilities, was he then maintaining that through there? Was he up in
Nah,
his visit? So
like
yeah.
nobody I've
Anyway,
spoken
let's not get into that.
has
Let's not get
seen
into, I'm
them.
dragging it back into
But
WRU stuff.
yeah, so positive things that we can do.
Yeah.
Keep engaging on socials. If the OSC makes a call out, then show up, turn up, be loud, be proud, show the boys what you mean to them.
Yeah.
If they're reposting stuff, then post it, share it, get the message heard loud and wide and far,
Yeah.
because Wales needs 4 regions. It needs 4 performing regions. I nearly fell off my chair in shock when Tom Shanklin said exactly the same thing, because I don't think I've ever agreed with Tom Shanklin in my entire life. So that also shocked me. But turn up, be loud, be
Mhm.
proud,
Yeah.
and show the boys that you love them. Drop
Yeah.
them a heart on their emoji, on their
Mhm.
Instas. You know, yeah, if you see them shopping in Sainsbury's, I would be like, Dewi, gives a hug. Like, we're on first name basis anyway, me and Dewi. So it's all good. Don't do that with other players who may not know who you are because they might be like stalky behaviour.
We're with
But
you though, boys. We're with you.
we're
I think that's
we're
what
with
Sam's
you
saying. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And I would like to turn around and say, a big fuck you to Richard Collier keyword about non-Welsh qualified players. I love them. Two of my current favourite players, Ryan Smith and Dan Casendi, are non-Welsh qualified. I love them. They bring so much to the game. They enrich the environment that they're in. Absolute bobbins. But that's it for the Welsh Rugby Union because, to be honest, it's going to play out a lot over the next couple of weeks. And I don't know if I've got it in me, to be honest.
Hmm.
I do not know that I've got it in me. Do you have anything further you'd like to add, young Rodri, my fellow my lad?
Please no.
Please no.
I was saying
But
before the pod, wasn't I, before we
yeah,
recorded, like talking about this week on week is getting a little bit tough. You probably feel the
training,
same, but so yeah,
training.
let's discuss everything that we need to, but yeah, keep it
Yeah,
to a minimum where we can, because there's more of this to come, and it's pretty tiresome.
yeah. But Rando of the
Mm.
week,
You
I had
prepared
some
this week, are you?
yeah, I had some amazing news yesterday. Absolutely banging, amazing news.
Divulge.
Right. No, I like my little baggy charms and my
Yeah.
collectibles and my little
Yes.
wreath.
Oh, don't we? Yes. Your little
They're from a
pets.
shop called Pop Mart.
I've heard of it.
Do you know what my glimmer of the week is?
No.
Pop Mart's coming to Cardiff!
As in they're opening a store.
Opening the shop!
No way.
I'm so fucking excited.
Christ.
It
You need
means
to
I
get a
won't have to buy
loyalty
stuff
card.
vintage. I got a loyalty card. When we're up in Manchester, um, they said, what time tickets do you want to book for Bricktastic or whatever? And Danny said, oh, I booked us tickets for 1 o'clock because it gives me chance for Sam to go to Pop Mart before we go. And I was like, oh, you didn't need to consider that. And he went, I'm fucking scared of you. I did need to consider that. So bearing in mind, Danny's like 6'4" or whatever, and I'm 5'2". I think it's really impressive that he's scared of me. But my glimmer of the week in all this entire shit show, Pop Mart is coming to Cardiff. I won't have to buy stuff on Vinted. I can go and queue. And then not only that, I loved My Little Pony when I was little. Scalp Handler doing a crossover with My Little Pony. I want the whole fucking collection. I'm like,
So is,
yeah.
is is this leading to a Sam's rando
So the
question, or
random
is
is
this a
what is
tangent?
your glimmer of the week? What's made you
Oh,
happy
okay.
this week?
That's what it was, is it? Um, I tell you what's not been a glimmer for my week thus far is last night, whilst flossing, I popped out one of my fillings.
Oh,
So I've currently got a massive hole in my tooth on this side. Those who are watching, probably have noticed me wincing every time I sip from my bottle tonight, because I'm trying to keep my ice cold water to one side of my mouth. But I've got a big hole in the side of my tooth now,
yeah.
and even just breathing in the
It's hurting.
room temperature air here at my desk, it
When
feels
can you
ice
go?
cold.
When can
So
you go to the dentist?
well, I've called my dentist this morning because this happened late last night. Called him first thing this morning, and because I'm an NHS patient on the
Lucky you.
practice that does a blend of NHS and mostly private, they obviously try to make everything as awkward as and impossible as possible for NHS people. So the earliest that they could get me in as an NHS patient mid-February. So
Back off.
I've either got to stick this out for
No.
another two and a bit weeks, or
Do you know what you need to do?
you can get those temporary ones, can't you?
Go and get a temporary fill-in
Yeah,
and get them in boots.
yeah.
Literally, um, I had to do it once.
Hmm.
They do work. You may
They
have
do,
to
do
like
they?
put it in a few times, like because
Okay.
it like while you're eating and drinking, then it wears away.
Yeah.
But you can keep refilling it, and that will stop the pain
Hmm.
from happening. But I think I had it in boots. It wasn't that expensive. I think it was 15 quid, and I managed to get like 5 or 6
Okay.
out of it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I
I'll give that a try
I
then,
got someone else
because
to do it for me.
I'm not going to cave and let them, bully me as an
Hundred
NHS
odd quid.
patient.
It is
So
a hundred
I'm
odd
going to
quid.
wait till mid-Feb. Um, yeah, yeah.
It's
So,
ridiculously expensive.
so sorry, I didn't answer your question. I did the opposite, but that was the first thing that came to mind. Glimmers this week, um, not a whole lot. That's depressing,
Okay,
isn't it?
okay.
Nothing that comes to
Um,
mind. Our cat she got in a big scrap the other day. So I think it was Sunday evening. I stayed up with her till probably 3 o'clock in the morning
little
because
shit.
she was in a bad way, and we weren't 100% sure that it was a fight because she started to swell up in her face
Oh
and neck.
no.
So I stayed up and kept an eye on her. She was then okay, but Christ, she must have got beaten up because she had scratches on her belly, puncture holes in her ear. Her
Ow,
jaw
she
was
had a
swelling
proper.
up, and there was clumped blood in her thing. We thought she might have been hit by a car, but we're so quiet
She's in a
around here. It's
worse way than
really
me.
unlikely. We think she just got really beat up by another cat. So no,
Oh,
not a week filled with glimmer.
joy. What about that
Yeah.
Lego set that John sent, Joe? Apart from the
The
price.
Yeah, well, yeah, he didn't send me the Lego set. He sent me a photo of it, but that's quite
Yeah, no, I'm
exciting,
not
isn't
paying 500 quid for
it?
Lego to be able to.
Send me a
I like spending
600
all that
quid
money.
Lego set. No, there are um, new Lord of the Rings Lego sets coming out, which is exciting with new minifigs. They're doing Minas Tirith, and then they're doing a bust of Sauron, which is exciting. Maybe I'll make my first ever Lego purchase because we talk about it enough, but I've never
Yeah.
actually owned or bought
When
any
I
of these. It's
when I
one of
go to
those
Bricktastic,
lottery things for me. If I was to win the lottery, I'd get all the big sets.
I got loads of Lego. Um, if I go to Bricktastic and they got some Lord of the Rings minifigs there,
Mm.
I'll pick some up for you. I'll buy you a
Oh,
present.
100%. Yeah, yeah. Those are the
Buy you a
perfect kind of
present.
like entry level things to start with, aren't they?
I'll be like,
Um,
look what I've done for you. Look what I bought you. And we can go from there.
yeah,
So
appreciate it.
that is us for this week.
Hmm.
All the usual, like, share, subscribe,
Yeah. And if you want to join our WhatsApp channel,
do it.
which is growing slowly, but
Yeah.
Sam set this up ages ago, and I've been a really bad podcast host and just haven't joined it in 4 or 5 months. But I'm finally on there, and it's constant Ospreys chatter all day, every day. People
Good
just
fun.
chucking things in there. So it almost feels like a new age of Ospreys forum, leaving behind these clunky old online ones that we've been using up until this point. So if you want that, message the pod account, message Sam, message myself. We can all
We can add
give you
you.
the details to get you added. It's currently up on our story on Instagram, so you can find the
Yeah.
link there as well. But obviously that'll disappear soon. But if you're interested, it's a really nice little
And
community there
everyone's
of people
lovely.
just chatting Ospreys. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've learned loads through there.
Hmm.
And loads of like really good discussion on there about things. Loads of banter. And I've started like slowly meeting people. Because
Yeah.
you met Dave on Saturday,
Yes,
didn't
yes,
you? Sat
yes.
Friday.
Hi, Dave. Nice to meet
Dave
you.
come to see us. Dave goes with his old man. I may not be able to come over and see you on the terrace this Saturday, Dave. John's probably going to put me on a harness like those kids. Um,
Should put you in a zorb, one of those
I
big
need
balls.
something. Honestly, I'm so clumsy. But this is the episode where I've gone makeup free and I've not done anything with my hair because I can't touch my face or my head that much. Um, but like, share, subscribe, get involved with all the rallies and all the ideas that are going on. If you've got an idea about something that we can do, then message me, message the OSC. And if not, I will see you 6 o'clock outside the ground on Saturday.
Hmm.
Please come. Please make it a big show because we love the boys. We love the region. We
Hmm.
love the people, the connection, the history. And we want to do everything that we can to save it. Don't forget, once your blood's black, it will always be black. Always. Always, always, always. So have a lovely week. Like, share, subscribe. And Rod, shall we do it?
Ymlaen y
Ymlaen y
gwyl.
gwaith.